folks, Officer Tony here, and it's time for the annual studio tour. Yay! Yeah! Yay! Anyway, here's some crappy video stuff about gear.
Hello, Richard from budgetguitarist.com. Let me turn this ridiculousness off. Just hang on a second. Hang on. All right, that's better. You don't ever see this light tree thing turned on in the videos, do you? Because this is like, well, I did a little DJ stuff for Halloween outside, and this is also what I use for gigs for my one-man band deal. Let me give you a sample. See if you know this one. Anyway, it's time once again for the annual studio tour. And so this video is basically going to be about the stuff I use to make music. I'm working on album number 6, which is going to be called Attack of the 80s Synths. It's heavily 80s synthesized, influenced music, and yeah, expect me to be talking about that on the channel because I want people to know about. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? And we're gonna just kind of go around the room. This is very informal. I didn't even dust, so let me take you on a little tour. So in this corner over here, we've got a big bookcase with all my wife's books in it. You can tell that they're my wife's books. And then there's a microphone stand there, see? Over here we got the infinitely repeating television. And we've got Mac Mini, there's some kind of Nintendo Wii, DVD, Blu-ray. There's my Sony receiver, Nakamichi cassette deck, I'm proud of that one. And then over here, looks like Tony's taking a nap down there. Cable, label maker, GameCube, microphones. Let's go through the mic collection, want to? Our first microphone is the Shure SM7B. This is really good for voiceovers, and I don't really use it on my vocals too much, but sometimes it's good for vocals. You can mic guitar cabinets with it. Good mic. My beat up, almost totally destroyed, but still awesome and amazing Electro Voice ND767A. They don't make these anymore, but these sound amazing. This is a dynamic mic. This is really, it's a $200 mic. It's the Rode NT1A, and almost every home studio in the world has one of these. And honestly, I still use it. This is my main vocal mic. This is a great mic for the money, I'll tell you what. Here we've got the AKG C1000S. I wish I had 2 of these because it'd make a really good pair, but I don't. I just have this one. This used to be what I recorded vocals in. Now I use it for recording acoustic guitar, I guess. It's a cool mic though. This is the AKG C214. This is supposedly a really good microphone. This is supposedly a better mic than the Rode NT1A. And it sounds really good, but for some reason, for me, I don't get along with the high end. So I don't actually use this mic too much, which is kind of a shame. And then of course we have, this is the Comica, I forget what the heck it's called. I made a video about it that only 42 people watched, but it's wireless microphone. I'm talking into it here, and the receiver is all the way over here, back here. Then here's the last one, the most universal mic in the world. Can you guess what it is? That's right. It's the Shure SM57. I record guitars with this. This is also my backup vocal mic at gigs. So that's my mic collection. I really want to get an AT4050. I'm kind of saving up for one, I think. I'm not sure yet, but I really want one. Let's go look at the tube amps. So down here on the floor, you can see there's a pair of AKC14 headphones, as well as my PV Valve King 20, that's a 20 watt tube head. Behind this keyboard, and behind this stand down here, I've got an orange cabinet, 1x12, with a Celestion Vintage 30, aka the best speaker, or at least my favorite. On top of that, Fender bass breaker, 15 watts. And hiding behind the stand over here is a Keeley 4-knob compressor pedal, which is amazing. While we're over here on this side of the room, up on the wall, I got my Schecter bass. This is a Schecter Diamond Series. Active pickups. I like it. And then back behind the speaker, you never get a chance to see this. This is a Squier Affinity P bass that I removed the frets from. So it's fretless bass. See what I did? I pulled the frets out. So let's talk speakers, shall we? So this is my PA. I've got these two speakers, and then down here underneath the desk, there's a 700 watt powered 1x12 EV subwoofer. So my live PA system is basically a set of in-ear monitors. These two EV speakers, these are ZXL, ZLX 12P, something like that. I don't know. And they're powered and they're very loud. Between those two and the sub, I can fill a pretty big room. Keyboards. Well, I have a Casio CDP-100, which was my main keyboard for about 10 years. And then finally, the lower keys, the 5 or 6 lowest keys stopped working. And the action was kind of spent on it from all those years. I mean, it was really a consumer piano that I gigged with. And so I decided it was time to get serious. And I got this guy this past summer. So this is the Yamaha MX-88, 88 weighted keys. It's got like 1,000 sounds in it. It's got knobs that you can use to manipulate the sounds. It's basically a rompler, which means that it uses digital samples. So think of it like a sampler, basically. It's got great pianos, electric pianos. CP80 in here is great. Strings, brass, drums, etc. It's all I need. But it's not all I have, because I also have this guy here. So this is the Arturia Keylab 49 Essential. And this came with a whole bunch of cool keyboard plugins that you can put on your computer. And it's got pads, and it's got sliders and knobs. And so basically I treat this like a synthesizer. It's got synth action, super fast. So I will use these two keyboards together. Sometimes for a gig I just need the Yamaha, but sometimes I'll bring both. It just depends. So now let's talk about the guitar corner, starting from the left over to the right. Gibson Les Paul 70s Tribute Squier Jagmaster. That is a solo 12-string that I built from a kit. That's a Jackson Adrian Smith, the one made in Indonesia, not the $3,000 version. Next to that is a Fender Strat with a baritone neck. Over on the next rack over, that's an Epiphone ES339. Next to it is a Fender Standard Telecaster upgraded with brass saddles and custom shop Texas special pickups. Next to that, Epiphone Les Paul with Pro Bucker pickups. Next to that, Epiphone Les Paul with a Super Distortion in the bridge. Next to that is a PRS S2 Satin 24, American made. Next to that is the PRS SE Custom 24, made in South Korea. Up on the wall, Lara VD03 acoustic guitar. Next to that is a Stratocaster that I built out of parts, Mighty Mite neck. And up there on the wall is my number 1 Strat. That's an American neck, Mexican made body, Texas special pickups, Graph Tech saddles, and yeah, cool. And then there's a Carlos Rebelli mandolin. Also not pictured, I have a Ibanez banjo, and I also have a Yamaha nylon string. And then I got my Gibson Les Paul 50s Tribute, and the reason it's out on this stand is because I've been playing it a lot. So let's get to the recording setup. We're going pretty fast here. We're almost done. Over here, you can see Heatwave, and then I've got a pair of Kenwood home stereo speakers, and on top of that is my Alesis Monitor 1 speakers that I mixed on for like 30 years. But I recently replaced them. Now they're part of my home stereo setup. And I replaced them with these guys. These are 100-watt powered Kali LP8 V2 monitors, and I absolutely love these things. A lot of people go with the KRK Rockets. They would have been my second choice. I like these guys because I think they're more accurate. I think they're flatter. I love the KRK, love the Kalis a little bit better. So, the Kalis. That's my monitoring setup. Next to that, I've got a very old and very vintage pair of realistic speakers in metal enclosures. They still work. These are 40 years old, these speakers are. And I'm powering them with a Mackie power amp, believe it or not. Here's a Dell 27-inch monitor, which is currently recording everything I'm saying inside a Logic Pro, which is my DAW of choice. So then moving down next, we've got a Tascam US 16x8. I don't really use this thing very much, but I use this when I need to record 16 inputs at the same time, such as a whole band. Okay, next level down, let's go through it. Want to? Furman power conditioner. Here's my old Scarlett 2i2 interface. I still use this from time to time for convenience sake, but again, it's not my primary interface. HX Stomp, which is amazing, 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 amazing. Did I mention that it's amazing? Version 3.5 just came out. They got all new IR files. They got like 5 or 6 new amps and a couple of new pedals, all for free. Line 6 rocks. This is basically Helix in a small pedal. Next to that, my main computer. This is a 2018 MacBook Pro, 16 gig of RAM, 512 SSD drive. That's not exactly zippy by modern standards, but it's still quite the powerhouse. And I'm having no issues mixing my album on it. I think I can probably get another 5 years out of this guy. So then we've got this guy here, and this is a Yamaha 12-channel mixer, MG12XU. This is my live gigging mixer. This is what I use when I do gigs. Here, I don't actually record any audio through this. I use this only for monitoring. So this is just a monitor mixer to hear what I'm doing. My primary mixer, when I'm mixing music, is this guy right here. And this is the Behringer X Touch. So this is basically a controller, and it's got 8 faders plus a master fader, and you can cycle through as many channels as you want. So it's automated mixing, got all the transport controls, and this just makes it easier when you're trying to record and mix down. You know, you can work with real faders instead of just using a mouse or whatever. Speaking of mouse or whatever, you can see I've got a wireless keyboard, only way to go. And then I've got a Magic Trackpad, also only way to go. I prefer this to the mouse because of all the different gestures you can do. Really cool. And then this guy right here, I'm not going to mess with it because I'm recording in it right now. But this is the Apollo Solo. And this came with $1,000 worth of UA plugins. And I'm using like the LA2A and a bunch of other plugins from this on my latest album. So top quality plugins, but it's also an outstanding sounding interface. So basically you put a microphone into this box, it's as good as anything that any pro's got, basically, in my opinion. One quick thing about this, if you are into audio recording, you might say, well, this is like $100 and this is like $700. Is it really that much better? Well, aside from all the plugins you get, one thing that you can do with this guy is while you're recording vocals, you got your headphones on, you can add compression and you can add reverb and you can add delay and you can listen to it all, the plugins, in real time in your headphones with no latency. And then you can either record them or you can not record them. So when you're trying to put down a vocal, Most vocalists don't want to sing bone dry in the headphones. They want to hear some echo. They want to hear some compression. That's really difficult to do on a computer with no latency. But if you've got any of the Apollo stuff, the solo or the, duo or dual, I don't know what the rest of the product line is. I can't afford it. But any of this kind of stuff, you can run those plugins on the CPU in this box. Your eyes are glazing over, aren't they? I'm sorry. This is mostly guitar players I'm talking to. There are really good reasons to pay more for the best. So I've got a video on this box if you really want to learn more about it. That is pretty much the studio. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything. I mean, I already talked about the lights. The lights, show the lights, right? I have that light stand, which again, I don't really use in this room. Maybe if I'm gonna make a music video, but that's mostly for live gigs. So yeah, that's pretty much all my stuff. So there you go. That was just me kind of quickly going through my gear. I would have spent more time on this video, but honestly, lately, I'm trying to just crank the videos out because I'm trying to focus on putting out my new album. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get it out to, iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff sometime by the end of this month. If not this month, early December. So if you are so inclined and you like 80s music that's heavily synthesizer based, you might check out my new album when it comes out, Attack of the 80s Synths. You can bet I'll be promoting it some more on this here channel. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. If you found this interesting, if you have any comments, any microphone suggestions or gear suggestions, or you have any questions about any of the gear that I showed you super quickly today, leave it in the comments section. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want, all that jazz. And I will see you again, as always, next Friday at 5.